Okay, here are the notes for polynomials day 1. Polynomials is a monomial or sum of monomials. A monomial is a single term. Binomials 2 terms. Trinomials 3 terms, combined by a plus sign or a minus sign. So like terms have the same variable and same exponent. Write that down. Combining like terms, you're going to add or subtract the coefficients and not the exponents. You're going to leave the exponents alone and only deal with the number in front. So you're going to need your calculator. Make sure you have your calculator nearby. You are not messing with the exponents. If you're done copying this down, then go ahead and move on to the next page. If not, pause the video and write this down. Alright, standard form of a polynomial. You're going to order your terms by exponent, big to small. An example is 3x to the 4th power minus 10x squared plus 7. X to the 4th is the bigger power. Then it's x squared. And then x to the 0, which we don't write x to the 0, so it's just your constant. Alright, adding polynomials. How do we do that? We combine like terms. So let's look at this example. In this example, we have 3x squared minus 5x plus 6 plus negative 3x squared minus 5x minus 5. So in this example, you're going to combine the like terms. 3x squared plus a negative 3x squared. When you combine those, you're taking 3x squared minus 3x squared. Some of you can look at that and say, I know those are going to cancel. It's going to be 0, so they're going to be gone. Next, you would combine negative 5x minus 5x. So you write minus 5x minus 5x. Last, you combine the constants. Numbers are always like terms. You have a plus 6 and you have a minus 5 here. So again, start combining. X squared, if you put in your calculator, 3 minus 3, it's 0. So 3x squared minus 3x squared is 0. It's gone. Combine your x's. Negative 5x minus 5. Negative 10x. Then you have a positive 6 minus 5 is a plus 1. Then you're done combining. You can use your calculator to simplify this. And again, you're simplifying negative 5 minus 5, negative 10. Then you have a plus 6, but you don't put the plus. You only put 6 minus 5 is 1, and it's positive, so you have a plus 1 in the end. Next, subtracting polynomials. When you subtract polynomials, you need to distribute and combine like terms. So, distribute negative and combine like terms. So in this problem, you have 6x squared plus 12x plus 4 minus, so there's really a negative 1 right here. You just don't see it. And when we say distribute that sign, we're going to distribute a negative 1 to 2x squared, a negative 1 to negative 8, a negative 1 to negative 2. Only distribute to everything on the right side. So you're going to bring down the first part. So this first piece, you're going to bring it down exactly the way it is. 6x squared plus 12x plus 4. When you distribute this negative, you're multiplying a negative 1 times 2x. A negative 1 times 2 is a negative 2. So this is a minus 2x squared. A negative 1 times a negative 8 is a plus 8x. A negative 1 times a positive 2 is a negative 2. It basically changes the sign from a negative to a positive, from a positive to a negative, from a positive to a negative. Now you combine your like terms. So you find which ones are like terms. Starting from left to right, 6x squared is a like term with minus 2x squared. Take the sign in front. So you're taking in your calculator 6 minus 2, 4. So 6 minus 2 is 4. You should have 4x squared. Now you're combining your x's. You have a positive 12x plus 8x. So you're taking your calculator and you're saying 12 plus 8, 20. So plus 20x. Last, you combine your constants. You have a plus 4 minus 2. 4 minus 2 is 2. So plus 2. Again, put in your calculator if you don't know. 4 minus 2 is 2. Now you're done combining. There's no more like terms. All right, let's try some more examples. Now you have your work stacked on top of you. So this example number 1, you're going to combine them exactly the way they are. 7x squared, and you're adding 1x squared, 8x squared. Just add them stacked on top of each other. Here you're adding a negative 8 minus 9. So negative 8 minus 9. Escape. It's the same thing as saying negative 8 plus a negative 9. Negative 17. Either way, you get a negative 17. Last, you combine a positive 9 minus 10. Again, if you don't know what to do, it's 9 minus 10 or 9 plus a negative 10. Either way, it's the same thing. It's a negative 1. So negative 1. And you're done because there's no more like terms. Next, number 2. Here you're subtracting. When you subtract, you need to change the signs of each term on the bottom. So you're going to distribute the negative. So distribute the negative here, distribute the negative here, distribute the negative here. When you do that, you're going to have a minus 2x, you're going to have a plus 8x, and you're going to have a minus 4. Here, this is like a plus 0 at the end. Now you combine your like terms. You're saying here, 5 minus 2x, 3x squared. Here, you're saying 3 plus 8x, 11x. Here, you're saying 0 plus a negative, or 0 minus 4, negative 4. Now you're done. Distribute the negative and then combine like terms. All right, next example. 3, it's a word problem. Some of the measures of polygon are given. P represents the measure of the perimeter. Find the measure of the other side. So this is a 2-step process. First thing you're going to do, add sides given. If you're trying to find the missing side and you're given the perimeter, you're going to add the 2 sides that are given. These 2 you're going to add together. So you're going to take 2x minus 3y plus x plus 2y. When you add them, you don't have to put parentheses. It doesn't change anything. Now combine your like terms. You have 2x plus 1x. You have 3x. You have negative 3y plus 2y. You can put it in the calculator. -3 plus 2, -1. So -1y. So this isn't your answer. You're not done here. So what you need to do next is the second step is to subtract perimeter minus added sides. And it needs to go in that order or else you got the opposite. So the perimeter is given to you, 5x plus 2y. Perimeter goes first, 5x plus 2y. Minus, now in parentheses, you're going to put in 3x minus 1y. 3x minus 1y. You have to use parentheses in order to distribute correctly. Now you have a -1 that you need to distribute, so you're going to distribute it to each term. You bring down your 5x plus 2y. This is going to be a -3x because you're taking a -1 times 3. -3. So -3x, -1 times -1 is a plus 1y. Again, -1 times -1 is a positive 1y. That's why we have plus 1. Now combine your like terms and you'll finish this off. 5x minus 3x is 2x. 2y plus 1y is plus 3y. Now you're done. This is the missing side. And again, you're combining your like terms. To get 2x, you take 5 minus 3. 2. That's where we get the 2x. Then you take 2 plus 1. 3. That's where we get the 3y. All right, next side. Here you have the sides of a triangle have lengths x plus 5, x minus 2, and 2x minus 4. Find the perimeter. Perimeter, you're going to add up all the sides. So all we're doing is taking this, this, and putting a plus sign between the terms. So you're taking x plus 5 plus x minus 2 plus 2x minus 4. When you have a plus sign, it doesn't change any of the signs, so you can just combine them the way they are. So I'm taking a 1x, and I'm combining it with the 1x, and I'm combining it with the plus 2x. So I combine all my x's. I'm taking, in my calculator, 1 plus 1 plus 2. You combine them and you get 4x. So 4x. Now you combine your constants. You're combining 5 minus 2 minus 4. 5 minus 2 minus 4. -1. If you don't know if this is a minus or a negative, you can always say 5 plus a -2 plus a -4. You're gonna get the same exact answer, but you have to understand it's a minus sign. 5 minus 2 minus 4. So you get -1, 4x minus 1 is the perimeter. Number 5, one rectangle has an area of, this is the area. A second triangle has an area of this. How many more square feet is the first triangle? So how many more means you're going to subtract. And when you subtract, you distribute the negative. So we're going to take 7x squared minus 4x plus 12. And we have a minus sign, and we're going to take all of this in parentheses. 4x squared plus 2 x minus 1. You need to distribute that negative. When you distribute the negative, it changes the sign. So here's a negative 1 where you need to distribute to 4x, distribute to 2x, and distribute to negative 1. So now you're going to bring down everything in front. 7x squared minus 4x plus 12. And you're going to distribute. When you distribute, you multiply negative 1 times 4. So you're taking a negative 1 times 4. You should get a negative 4. So this is a minus 4x squared. Now you're taking a negative 1 times 2x, minus 2x. Now you're taking a negative 1 times a negative 1, plus 1. So you should have multiplied a negative 1 with each term. So it was a negative 1 times 2. That's how we get negative 2x. Then it was a negative 1 times negative 1. Negative 1 times negative 1. That's how you get a positive 1. Now from here you just combine your like terms. Like terms. You combine 7x squared with minus 4x squared. So you take 7 minus 4. 7 minus 4 is 3. 3x squared. Now you take negative 4x minus 2x. So negative 4 minus 2. Negative 6. Now you take a positive 12 plus 1. So you take 12 plus 1. 13. So plus 13. This is your final answer. That's how you subtract it. Last one, number 6, you have 3x minus 6, and you're subtracting it from 24x minus 18. So you're subtracting from, it's a flip phrase, you're going to do subtraction. First, you're going to write 24x plus 18, and you're subtracting all of this from it. 3x minus 6. From here, you need to distribute the negative 1, and it's going to change your signs. So you keep 24x plus 18, and now you distribute negative 1 times 3x minus 3x. Negative 1 times a negative 6 plus 6. You multiply. Negative 1 times 3, negative 1 times negative 6. That's how we get minus 3 plus 6. Now, last, you combine your like terms. 24 minus 3, literally in the calculator, you're taking 24 minus 3, 21. 24 minus 3 is 21, so 21x. Now you're taking 18 plus 6, so you type that in your calculator. 18 plus 6, 24. So plus 24. And you're done.